Peace and love, family. Peace and love. I just want to take, a few minutes just to address a few things on my stance and I guess we could say my contribution to the conscious community. It's not that I'm ever going against any of you scholars. I even kind of tilt my hat off to a lot of you YouTube scholars. At least you are taking the time to gather the information. I will admit some of you guys are not going and researching the authors, but at least you're on the right path. You're at least taking the time to embrace, the message. But today I just want to kind of lay on more of the issues of using common sense. And we don't really need instructions on how to use common sense. You know, no two peoples are gonna think 100% alike. It's impossible. Peoples are going to disagree with each other. And as we look back to the continent of Africa, we do understand that before it was ever invaded, we had our peoples there that was not getting along with each other at times. This is true. But we can also understand how today's society goes with us as our peoples from the continent of Africa. Some gonna say we was everywhere, which is true. But right now, just so everybody can get a better understanding, we're just gonna say from the continent of Africa right now. It is nothing different than what we're doing now on how we really treat each other as a as a as a whole. And what I mean by that, because I don't want nobody to get really caught up on as I said, as we treat each other as a whole. I am speaking only on how the mindset goes within households, families, meaning how we kind of relate and correspond to each other. It don't matter what the situation is. If you make me mad, I am going to probably react to my peers a certain way about you, and you're going to do the same thing about, towards me if I make you mad. Those were some of the same problems that they was also dealing with back then in the continent, on the continent of Africa. People just don't get along all the time. It's just that simple. Now we can look at the pyramid walls, which we know that the pyramid walls have has never really been deciphered. We are learning that we do have groups of people who say that they can decipher a little bit of it, but for the sake of argument, we're gonna leave it at that. What we never knew, and I think that this is also important. The people who was allowed to write on those walls, what was they governed by? Now, that's a strong argument because you have a lot of people who say that the only people who was allowed to write on those walls was the priests of those, of that time. Well, we understand that they're not going to think alike. Even if they came under the same studies, sometimes we as people get caught up in emotions. And the ones who learn to separate their emotions, that do not mean that they are wrong on how they greet you with their opinions. It never have meant that they're wrong. There's never nothing ever been set in place that says what one thinks is law. That's why it's called an opinion. Everybody's entitled to them. We can easily make the argument that amongst those pyramid walls, if a priest that was writing on this particular pyramid walls felt a certain kind of way about a situation that he seen, he may view, or his outlook on it, then that particular priest was able to write what he thought about it. That was his opinion. That do not mean that another priest is going to share his same opinion. That's where the conflict comes in at. Not saying that there was conflict on the continent of Africa, but at this day and time, we still do not understand the writing, the text that was on those pyramid walls. And for surely we're not gonna give credit to any Greek that came and said that they was able to decipher the wall and pass that particular set of information down to others. But now we're gonna kind of like get out of the religions or the culture aspect of what was going on the continent of Africa, and now we're just gonna deal with common sense of everyday people. Right now, as you look on just on social media, it's easier to track down people who are we're gonna call leadership. Track down the things that they write on their posts, some of the comments that they share, just their views of situations. You can find a lot of disagreement among them, and they could all be standing on the same principle, but the way that they view things, it was just totally different, as you can see right now, just on social media, just on Facebook alone, we can see this. We can see this practice going on every day. Now, it's an argument there that we can also say, well, Brother Shu, what about genetic memories? And genetic memories is 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 something that is passed down through DNA. It's a like a memory bank where you can have a sense of the things that your ancestors went through. It's like a little memory bank, Once again, let's not get too caught up on the words for the people who really just want to pick this apart. What I'm saying, but that's the basis of it. You can kind of it's a code that is passed down generational, and you can kind of relate to the thing that your ancestors went through, meaning that the thought process will come to you. It's like being something that's reserved in a memory bank. So genetic memory can be passed down, and we do know and understand that. But we also have to look at what are we saying as to how people today function and the way that people right now in today's time deal with situations. So we have to kind of like shift gears and just work on what's going on today. And the peoples who is still caught up with the pyramids and the text on the pyramid wall, that is good because that is something that we really need to dot I's and cross T's on. But today, right now, we're dealing with a real devil. We're dealing with a vicious devil in today's time right now. And it's gonna be hard for us to try to put together a game plan to defeat this devil while we're still trying to work and figure out what the people of ancient Egypt was talking about. Now, once again, I'm not saying we're going to discredit that because we do need that. That's going to help us a lot, and that is helping us a lot because that is allowing us to kind of find ourselves. But we need to put together a game plan now for this devil that we're dealing with because we do know and understand that the peoples of ancient Egypt, they was able to rise above the occasion and put together game plans to defeat their enemies. Now, if we're gonna stand on genetic memories, then surely it's something that is within all of us that will allow us today to put together a game plan to defeat this common devil that we are all up against right now in today's society as we speak. So I think that we need to just kind of understand what we're dealing with across the boards. We cannot keep letting religions come in and separate us. Religion has separated us to the point that even if one of us come up with a good game plan and we're not part of that particular religion or another religion, then those other religion is going to shut you down. They're going to shut you down. We have seen this take place time and time again. So we have to understand that we all need to be one because regardless of whatever religion that it may be, we all have a common devil. We all have a common devil we're trying to defeat. And until we can come up with the right game plan to defeat this common devil, then regardless of what religion that you may practice or whatever the principle that you may stand on, it means nothing unless we can form some type of unity to attack this devil that we're dealing with right now in society. I just, like I said once again, I just wanted to address a few things. Uh, for the for a lot of the scholars that I'm going at, like I say, it's not that so much I'm going at you guys because I, that's never my goal. That is never, that is never my goal. I just think that when you're gonna, base your scholarship off authors and not do research on those authors, then I think you start getting uh, a lot of, incorrect information. Or even if the information is not incorrect, it gotta, it's the author really worth? Do you feel that the author was coming from a good place? Was his intentions good, or was he trying to trick you? You know, so those are some of the things I kind of like to key on. But as time goes on, I'm gonna post some more audio and video. But I was just trying to, you know, lay out a blueprint so people can understand where I'm coming from with this. So talk to you guys later. Peace.